on flesh.
Fuck, I just realized I was muted the whole time. What's up, YouTube? I'm gonna show you guys my setup for the Temporalis autobomber build. As you just saw, this is max level Xesht. See, I got all the difficulty nodes, and he got melted in 1 second. Um, so my version of the build is what I would call the version. The budget version of the build. Yeah, Temporalis is the expensive part, but everything else is pretty affordable. So this is the gear. It's nothing fancy. The wand's probably one of the cheaper things. The rings as well. I'm just filling in stats that I need. This ring is dog shit. I'm gonna get a better one. Don't worry. I'm using harmonic generator as my anoint, but you can use voracious if you feel like you just need that 20% instant leech. I have not found a use for it other than in maps where you have like 80% less health recovery, then use voracious if you feel like you're in danger. Um, sorry, the gear again, the wand. These are the rings. This is the amulet. The helmet. The helmet also could be better. But I wanted to go with like the most budget. Like you just bought Temporalis and you have no fucking money in your bank. That's what my build is right now. The scepter, you want to aim for 210 spirit. Anything more is superfluous, in my opinion, unless you're trying to get to the next breakpoint, like to fit in another meta gem. On on the prefixes, of course, spirit, but also maximum mana, as much as you can get. On the suffixes, you get reduced attribute requirements or plus strength. Plus strength because once you get enough strength, like by putting on a ring with strength or putting enough strength points in your passive tree, once you put this on and it has strength, you can then remove those passive points, change them back to intelligence or whatever. But if you take off the scepter, obviously you're gonna have to fuck with that shit all over again. The boots, Trampletoe, that's basically what's enabling the enormous damage that the build can do. The belt is, you know, cheap ass belt. It wasn't cheap when I bought it, but now it's cheap because I just need 2 charm slots. A lot of the gear I have is gear I was using on my Stormweaver when I was mana stacking Archmage. Now I'm still kind of mana stacking Archmage, but not as important. All right, that's the gear. I also have a bunch of jewels that are scaling shock magnitude and crit chance, mana recovery. But the most important thing is shock magnitude, crit chance, crit damage. Um, I have opted for not really investing into energy shield because what the fuck is the point? If you delete everything before they can even touch you, why are you even investing much into energy shield? There's, I promise you, there's no fucking point to it unless you're just bad and you have like old man reflexes. You don't need that much energy shield. You can be comfortable at like 4700 ES over capped or overflown, but these are my base stats, and I do just fine. And I basically never die unless I just like teleport in the face of 300 mobs and they all attack me at the same time. In that case, it's my fault for dying, but it's not because I have a low amount of ES. All right, just continuing to show my jewels. Some of them really aren't that good, but this one, for example, I paid an unspeakable amount. I don't even want to say it. So, scaling shock magnitude, like I was a Stormweaver. Like, most of these jewels are from my Stormweaver when I was stacking 2 shocks. So, I decided to, like, just use what I had for my Blood Mage build with Temporalis. For the jewel setup, I'm sorry, for the gem setup, I I convert this to life tap since I'm using Archmage. And that's all you need. You need considered casting, concentrated effect, because AoE on this thing really does not fucking matter whatsoever, and spell echo. For your bossing setup, you have cast on crit. For your mapping setup, you use cast on dodge. If if you want to use cast on crit while you're mapping, go ahead, buddy. It works, but it's, in my opinion, just not that good. So I use the lowest level is level 9 Frostwall. You use Fortress, Energy Retention, Impetus, and Spell Cascade. That is synergizing incredibly well with Trampletoe. If you get a good Corrupt, which is the base overkill is 30% on a non-corrupt version of these boots, a good corruption, like 35% plus, is going to be expensive as fuck, but it's going to boost your damage quite a bit, I think. So you can do that. On the cast on dodge setup that I'm using currently, I'm using level 16 because anything higher is going to cost me more dexterity. The reason I did this is because I'm not using double spark for my mapping. I'm using Eye of Winter and Spark. The support gems are Acceleration, Pierce, and Inspiration. I'll show you how much mana it spends. It spends a lot of mana, which is why I only use it for mapping. And I have a bunch of jewels that give me a mana recovery, so like I kill a few mobs and I'm back to full mana. So it works for mapping. I also use Grim Feast, Mana Remnants, and Archmage. For Blink, there's a couple of support gems that I want to incorporate that I haven't yet. Where are they? The one that gives you more stun threshold when you use it. Where are you? Unbreakable. There we go. I definitely want to use that. This is useless. I don't know why I'm using it. Oh, there's another one that like knocks things back. I think it's like wind. No, not that. Wind wave. Yeah. There we go. Now I can probably swap my stun charm for a magic mine one. I'll try it. It sucks when you teleport in and you just get stunned and you fucking die. Which doesn't happen at all if you use Stone Charm, so I'm gonna try it. I saw it on the Korean dude's video. He had Wind Wave and Unbreakable on his Blink, and I thought that was a really good idea. So I'm gonna try that. You don't need to use mana remnants at all. It's just like I have some extra spirit. I didn't know what to do with it. I might try a different setup though. All right, so that was just the domain, and oh my gosh, as quickly as I augury now. Okay, here we go. Juicy one. I have a juicy one. That's for shit.
Until next time.
Go.
Speak.
There's a juicy one. Oh, alright, here are the mods. I got Enfeeble. They have extra energy shield. Alright. Oh my gosh, so laggy. Sorry, I don't know why. Where's the breach? Oh, this guy must have. I think he had proximal tangibility, little motherfucker. Oh my god, the lag is really bad. Alright. So that's a little bit of the mapping showcase. It did not have Delirium on it, which would make it a little bit harder, but not that much harder. A couple of things that I want to emphasize on your wands. Damage as extra lightning damage is non-negotiable. Make sure you have that. If you can get another damage as extra, that's ideal in my opinion. Otherwise, I think maximum mana is really good, especially since we're scaling Archmage. But alternatively, if you did not want to scale Archmage like the Korean guy did, he is not scaling mana whatsoever. He's scaling damage as extra. So on his wand, he has a triple damage as extra wand with lightning, fire, and cold on the prefixes, and then on the suffixes, I'm assuming because I can't read Korean, I'm assuming he has like +5 all lightning and then high crit chance. I'm assuming. He was also using Ingenuity as his belt and Ming's heart on one of his rings. I think his other ring was like a breach ring or something. I'm not sure. So you could do it that way. Obviously, if you had Ingenuity plus Ming's heart, you're getting over 100% damage as extra chaos damage. I should probably do that. It's probably better than what I'm doing with Archmage. It's going to scale Trampletoe so much better as well. So in his setup, he's not using Archmage, so you would just deactivate Archmage, and you just cast on critical. But I didn't like that because what was happening was it was spawning the frost walls, and then my lightning bolts were killing the frost walls, but it was like see where my cursor is? Like it would just stay there, and it would keep spawning, and the lightning bolts would keep killing the frost walls over there, and I'd be over here. And since it has 100 millisecond delay, it would just get stuck in one spot and not do shit for me. So for mapping, I didn't really like it. For bossing, it's amazing, obviously. Anyway, those are some of my thoughts. That's my setup, and I hope you find luck in whatever you're doing with your configurations.